What's going on from the Superbook.com sports desk? I'm Robert Walsh. Nashville SC has announced Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nashville Predators forward Philippe Forsberg are part of the new set of minority owners that have acquired a stake in the franchise and is included in Giannis's brothers. The term of the investment were not disclosed. Vanderbilt upset number 23 Kentucky 68-66 in Lexington. It is Vandy's first win in Rupp Arena since January of 2007. Jordan Wright hit the game-winning shot with under 3 seconds remaining. He finished the game with 23 points. And Tennessee's Zakai Ziegler suffered a torn ACL in his left knee during Tuesday's game against Arkansas and will miss the remainder of the season. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. NFL Combine. Today, people get out on the field and do 3 cone drills and run 40s, and it's the big guys, defensive linemen and linebackers today. That's going to start at 2 o'clock, so we'll be just giving updates in the 2 o'clock hour. We'll let people know what's going on.
Yeah. Vandy going to have some guys there? Because they're going to be elated that they beat Kentucky since they hadn't beaten them in I don't know how long. When was the last time they beat Kentucky, Robert? Do you remember?
2007 in Rupp Arena. That was the last time they beat Kentucky in Rupp Arena.
Dang. Ooh. Is that the first year Twitter came out? I don't know.
It's got to be close.
It's somewhere around there,
yeah.
man. You sure you're right on that, Robert? I'm just making sure.
Hey, that's what the update says.
They say, okay. All right, yeah.
You wrote the update, so I mean.
I could definitely be wrong.
I see how he's trying to deflect to the person who wrote the update when he wrote the update.
That's what the update says, but you wrote the update.
I am just reading what's in front of me. My name is Robert
It just
Walsh.
got left there by the update elves.
I like that. I like that. You tried to pull the wool over my eyes there, man. So yeah, that was pretty special there. I have to admit I was not all in watching the game. I watched the beginning. I saw the big man go down Robbins. I was like, uh-oh. They in trouble.
Yeah.
So let me change the channel. This game is probably over. Didn't even continue to watch it. Turn it back. Actually, I watched something with my wife, so that was what happened. And then we turned it back after our show went off. And then there you have it. We see the last 3 minutes of the game. And I'm like, whoa. And Mr. Wright came through for him there with a couple clutch shots. I love it because it's a feel of the game. And I'm not going to just say head coaches. It may be because he was a former player. Remember he called timeout against UT, drew up the play? Mm-hmm. This time he let them play it out and let them continue play. And they didn't even look over there to him really. You know, like they knew he was going to let them play because they was hot. They was in rhythm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they had scored 3 in a row because it looked like Kentucky was going to take over the game with 3 minutes. The crowd started getting involved. It looked like they was starting to pull away. They was up about 4-6. I'm like, uh-oh, this is over. They did not die. Have to give the Doors a lot of credit, man. Stackhouse and the whole coaching staff and the players, man. They believed, they were resilient. And he said afterwards that he had told the players, we want to check off some boxes on teams we have never beaten with this, the class that came in when he was first coach there. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the boxes. So hats off, anchor down to the Doors. Big time win, man.
Did you happen to see the free throw discrepancy in that game?
No. Well, no. What was it? No, I could do this.
Vandy shot 13 free throws. Do you know what Kentucky's? Robert, have you seen this? Vandy shot 13 free throws. Do you guys know? You want to take a guess at how many Kentucky shot in this game?
How many they shot, not how many they missed. I'll go. Let's say they shot 22.
Up.
30.
Up.
35.
35. They shot 35 free throws in that game. Woo!
They probably should have. I mean, that's a lot, but they should have probably went inside a little bit, even more than they were doing.
That's over half of the points. If they would have made every one of those, they would have scored over half of the points that they scored in this game.
Because what was their three-point shooting? Because I didn't think they were shooting very well.
It's about 16%.
Yeah, from 3.
Yep.
Yeah, that should have went inside even more. They might have got even more fouls. But when it's a discrepancy like that, that means they're not calling the same way on both sides. Now, sometimes that's not true when you're watching the game. I don't know if it was at this point in time, but man, that was senior night there too as well. So that one's gonna. Just think about Kentucky basketball fans. They're like, we got beat by Vandy. Some people are lit today.
Oh,
I mean, lit. Like they may go burn a whole bunch of couches today. Yeah, they are pissed off. But man, I just like to see how Vandy has grown and gotten better each and every. That's coaching, that's resiliency, that's believing. It takes a lot to do that. I mean, really. I mean, because remember they got blew out. Who was it by? Alabama or Arkansas? Yeah. I mean, that was just, you thought, they're going to throw in the, they're going to start giving. No, that's what actually took them over the top. See that? Failing an embarrassing loss. Yeah, that took them to where they needed to go. And speaking of that, that's why the Titans need to go all the way down and rebuild. And start over. And look what could happen. But they won't.
Well, I was going to say, David Poyle, they sold off Granlund last night. The entirety of his contract, they got a second for him. And hockey deals are different because you can say, well, Blaine, if you'll take him off my hands, I'll pay this much of his salary for the rest of his contract. And that's kind of a big deal when guys change hands in hockey.
Well, you can do that a little bit in the NFL. That's what they did somewhat with Tannehill.
They can massage it a little bit, yes.
Mm-hmm. As far as his pay.
Yep. And they took his whole contract, Granlund's whole contract. And there's still time for them to do something else.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
I like the marketing appeal because nobody's talking about their rebuilding. They were more talking about Trotzy's going to be the new GM. See how they did? They transitioned that. So then it's still excitement.
Yep.
Even though the season's over, there's no, oh man, I'm not gonna redo my ticket, for next year. No, it's like, oh, new excitement. It happened. Got a guy in there we like, at least in the moment. We liked him as a coach, loved him as a coach. Well, he's a GM. We shall see. And then Poyle's ended his legacy with all these, let's say, collateral to start over. And you do it your way. For Trotsy. So, man, yeah, I'm excited. See where it can go. Some people may not be excited about it, but I am. And then 2 years from now, I may not be. But
they just have so much draft capital now to do anything with it.
Do you think they could eventually, with all the capital they have, to get a superstar type player? Now, I don't know if that's through the draft or a current one because it's hard to say someone would trade a player. What's the one guy? Connor McDavid. What's his name? McDavid? Is that his name? Yeah. Yeah, he used to. We can get him. No. So I don't know. Can you get a player like that? Like with all their capital? Or do they have to trade a little bit more just to get some more first round picks or something? I don't know. I don't know hockey that, like that. So, but it's kind of a cool just to not know where they're going.
And you nailed it, though. All the hardcore Predator fans I know are like, we should have done this before. Like, they're excited about it.
Yeah. It should probably, and I get it. Poyle was still thinking, hey, man, we got a shot. We get in the playoffs. But they were a team kind of where I think the Titans are, where you're that middle-of-the-road team. Your window has closed, and it's time to kind of reboot. And he was hanging on because they were still making the playoffs. So when it's under his tenure, and he wanted to keep going to the playoffs. I think the true test was now they couldn't turn it around. He knew probably the odds of us making it are probably not likely. Mm-hmm. And if we do, we're going to get beat again in the first round. Yeah.
The thing with the Preds is exactly what you said was, well, we had all those years they made the playoffs, but it became evident over the last couple of years, it's probably going to be as far as we go. We'll make it and we'll exit after the first one. And like you said, this year, they probably looked at the landscape and thought, we're about to miss the playoffs.
Dang.
Let's sell as much as we can. Like you said, hand Trotsy, the cupboard full of draft picks, and then he can shape it however he wants. Mm-hmm. He's getting into you can radically change the team territory.
Mm-hmm. And eventually, I think the coach is going to be gone. I just think it's going to happen.
Our buddy John
because
Glennon
first of all,
said,
because you got to look at it, and this is what Vrabel's scared of. As good as a coach as he is, too, as well. Because once you start saying rebuilding, that takes time. That first year, if I'm the GM, oh no, you still my coach. Because that first year, I know we probably not going to be as good. But that second year, then that's when I'm going to hire my guy. See, these guys are very strategic now how they operate. Yeah. So
the other
that
thing, too, and you know this, that when I hire my guy, then the clock starts ticking on me. Yeah.
Right.
So I'll let you hang out for another year.
Yeah.
You another guy's hired.
Yeah. But if you win, you're my guy.
Well, we're going to both look great.
Uh-huh.
But if you lose, then you're going to look bad and I'm going to fire you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get my guy here. So that's kind of how it is pretty much in all the professional leagues. Whether it's your quarterback, new GM, new coach, that's kind of how it works. So, yeah. So, congrats. I don't know how we went from anchor down to the
It's a
Predators.
smooth transition.
Yeah,
well,
that was big time, man, for them, man. I got tipped the cap. That was huge. Now I know this doesn't seem like the Kentucky of old, but they had start getting things together, and they're in the tournament. They're actually a 3 seed in the SEC ahead of Tennessee. So yeah, that was big. That was big for the program.
Stackhouse is making the case for, and I know he got that extension before the season, and a lot of people had questions like,
"Oh, I definitely did.
Like,
I definitely did.
Maybe, like if they gave him an extension now, you'd be like, okay,